community. She has the support of the people from her church, and so it was really just like heartfelt to sort of see how one regardless of your circumstances, if you have good community, if you have good people around you, they're
Yeah.
they're gonna help carry you through that.
And I will say that I want to say this. We are in sort of dire times right now, all of us, and there is still goodness in people, and there's still goodness in communities of color too. And I think oftentimes people that seem to have perceptions of us that we're not there for each other
Hmm.
and we don't look out for each other. That's just simply not true, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I will also say this: there are tons of Americans on all any political ideology. There are a lot of them that are still kind and will do for their neighbor
Hmm.
and do for their community. Um, and I'm a huge just I to remind people of that all the time. Although we're dealing with all kinds of craziness that we see on TV and online. However, though, at the same time, there is still many of us who do not subscribe to the BS, and we're holding each other's hands right now.
Which which
So
which which is which I'm glad you said that because I do feel like a majority of the things, and so I put a limit on how much news I get, right? Like, so like
yeah, me
maybe
too.
maybe I might do it like on the weekends, in the morning, and maybe that's it. But like during the week, I really make an effort to not pay attention
Hmm.
to the news. So so I feel like the, there's nothing wrong with reporting on positive things that are happening, right? There's something malicious about if you're using fear to pin people against each other, right? Like if you're only looking at the negative, and I get it. Life is is hard. It's really really hard, but you don't necessarily have to purposely highlight that and use that in a malicious way where you sort of weaponize it. I think that is a very scary thing to think about. Like, yes, there are nice people, but for whatever reason, we're only talking about nice people when it's in our clique, sort of like our cluster, right? Like in sort of our sphere. Um, and to have a community of folks who are like, yeah, no, and the thing that that's crazy about it's right, like it's you have like the idea of preaching Christianity, and Christianity was all about taking in
Yeah,
the
the
homeless.
sick and the
It's,
shut in
right,
and
like it was
the
it,
the,
it
the
was all about that.
downtrodden and yeah.
Yes, yes.
I remind people that, voted for that man because I've had conversations with them, that, your so-called leader does not believe in Christianity. He does not believe in helping people or he's not very American at all, you know. One of the aspects of being American is taking in immigrants. That's how this country was founded on
Right.
immigration. However, though, it also was founded on colonialism in many ways, and a lot of
Yes.
the I would say the mistakes of the past is still continued, and there's a lot of violence, and there's a lot of racism that also happened in the making of this country. And
Mhm.
what we're seeing is a another version of that trying to come to the forefront again. Uh,
Mhm.
so when he first became, president, I thought, okay, he's here, he's doing what he's doing. People will learn their lessons and why you shouldn't support this. And the chaos that ensued with him being president should have been enough. I would think January 6th would have been a huge wake up call. All it did was help consolidate power in many ways. And the fears, especially with a lot of communities of color, of white domination also sits, and it's become now more and more of an open conversation. And let me be specific: white male domination. I want to be as specific as possible in that
And
because
also cis.
you
Don't
know,
put cis in there.
yeah, yeah, and we now as a country need to, and I've said this variety of times, especially as after he got became president in 2024. We have to have some very open conversations about things and hear what each other is saying, of course, but also educate each other too. I'm always going to be on that tangent because when people are yelling and screaming, even if it's an argument about, say, something in your personal life or whatnot, no one can hear each other when they're yelling and screaming.
Uh,
So I'm all for protest. I'm all for a march. I'm all for those things. However, though, um, do you think it more accomplished when an opposing argument is made? And instead of getting just as angry, you simply as calm as you can be, and you say, "Hey, look, this is not, this doesn't work, and this is why it doesn't work." Uh, and you get the person or people to hear you, which can be difficult, but get them to hear you and get them to take a step back and look at what they're believing in. Um, And it's for me, I will say I've had some practice at being able to uh, do that. But I will just say through my timeline of us, all of us dealing with this orange bastard being around. There's been some conversations where people like, I regret that I voted for him. And they came to me and had those conversations. And so I never told them that they were stupid for doing that. I never said to them that they made a mistake for doing that. I just said to them, I'm glad you could see. And next time, because I can't tell you who to vote for, but I was like, I think next time, uh, think about uh, that this is not just about you, it's about all of us.
yeah. Well, and
And
like I think, I think somewhere around the Statue of Liberty it says, give me your weak, give me your tired, give me your poor,
you're poor,
your,
you're
your
hurried
hungry,
masses yearning to be free. Yes.
yearning to be free. Like that,
Yeah.
that to me, that alone, right, says like, yes, this is a country that's built on colonialism, that's specifically built on capitalistic sort of, heteronormative ideas. Yes, but there, not but and the ability to use or house different cultures, because I don't necessarily know if America would have the flavor that it had if it didn't have this idea that you the streets are paved with gold, right? Like my folks are from Haiti, and the idea that America is the place that you go to do better, right? Like America is the place that you go if you want to advance your kids' future, right? Like
Mhm.
if you work hard, if you hold down a job, if you sort of like participate in your community and like and support your churches, right? Like if you do all of those things, then you will be successful. But the moment I try to engage in that process, and I have a coworker that can't pronounce my name and doesn't like the smell of my food, right? Like I feel like if you're promoting that, then you're excluding a whole swath of people who historically have brought to this country innovations that no other country has ever had, right? Yeah, most of those innovations are built on the backs of other people and
Right.
the majority of slaves. But the idea that you have like a collective of a different collective of people who are thinking about how to make the human life better, from medicine to technology to like all of those things that we currently have that make our life better. I would say 50, if not a percentage of that technology comes from the US. And to scare all of those people away, like the brain drain that's
Hmm.
happening, like
Yeah.
where does that leave us, right? In the sense of like, are we not supposed to think critically, right? Like when immigrants are coming to this country, they're thinking about how do I make my adoptive home better, right? They're they're not thinking about like, I'm gonna rape or I'm gonna sort of take advantage of it. They're like, no, like, I'm gonna work hard to make my adoptive home better. And and to have somebody like spit in your face that says, I don't believe that you're gonna work for my benefit, because if depending on the pollings that you're reading, or the research that the culturally the white Caucasian is sort of shrinking, because they're sort of either intermingling with other races, or just the population alone, right, of folks
Yeah.
coming in. And so it's like, is it the fear of being replaced? Is that what it is? Because you go back to,
Um,
it's me or them, right? And so I would rather protect my own than try to protect anything. But time and time again, I'm seeing that if you have a neighbor that's struggling, they're gonna help you, right? Like, they're not gonna be like, oh, like, who did you vote for? But I feel like the climate that we're in, that's the direction that they're going. And it's like, I'm not gonna provide you any support or any service because you didn't vote for me, right? Like this sort of
well,
fashion.
yeah, yeah, but that's what this administration is doing, or trying to do, to the best of its ability, I should say. This is why cities like Chicago, or was it Portland, Oregon, or this and the other, where or even DC in many ways,
Right,
they're
right.
sending um, the National Guard, and it's like, that is this one, that's illegal. Uh, and there's no point in doing that. Um, and it's also to cause derision, and give the impression that these places are war zones, when they all probably have their issues, of course, but not to the extent to what he is saying. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Oh, right. Yeah,
And
it's
and this is what any third grade dictator does. You know, they they all use the same tactics to say this group of this particular population of people are doing X, Y, and Z. And the reality is that that's just not what's happening. It's just that it's a thing of controlling the narrative.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and uh, I think what's happening is because of this unfortunate, ridiculous bill that recently passed, that all Republicans were so afraid of him to not vote, to vote against, because I think in many ways, most of them didn't really want it themselves either.
Yeah.
People are realizing, I don't have Medicaid, I don't have Medicare. These things are important. These things they help, because most people, I would include myself, are underinsured, and yet I have medical insurance. But because of some of my prescriptions are not really fully covered under my plan, and I pay out the ass to be in that plan. So, it's eh, I think people are now waking up finally to the reality of understanding that, the very things that they believe that a certain other people were benefiting from, they also are part of the pot too. And they were benefiting from that as well. And they really don't understand the structure of their